Councillor Sedino.
Thank you very much. Welcome, Sean. You know, there's a different landscape out there, if you want to call it that, today, because the First Nations are getting probably some of the just recognition that they should have probably had a while ago. But that doesn't change the fact that there's a lot of players in here. There's a developer, there's the First Nations, there's us as a community, and altogether we form a community. And I think that, you know, we all have to work together. And from what I'm hearing here is that we don't have a part to play in this because it's between the First Nations and the developer and maybe the province, and that we shouldn't even be involved. But being in the area, living in the area, we are part of the community. We are part of your community as you are part of ours. We both live in Northern Ontario. We both have, you know, some of the same interests. And, you know, I'm a firm believer in economic development and you know, and trying to make a buck and all this other stuff. But there's not only that in life. I mean, there's some of the things you know, there's nature and everything else, and you know, you talk about economic development up there. It's been a fact that, you know, there's about 3 companies that are operating and take tours up in that area, and they generate, from the last figures I heard, over $100,000 worth of business a year. And I mean, it's not in your league what you're going to be making in 20 years, but it's an opportunity to expand upon that, and maybe you guys, the First Nations, can even be part of that. I'd hate to see that every little channel of water that's potential to deliver even half a megawatt or 1.5, I think is the maximum of this one, can generate, is going to be developed for the sake of the almighty dollar without, you know, some considerations for the environment, the economic development in terms of tourism, which are there. I mean, these falls are going to become a rare bird, if you want to call it that, in both of our environments, not just ours, in your environment, because we share it. And you know, I think it's got to be more than just a 2-party or a 3-party. It's got to involve all the people that are affected in our community. I mean, there's 50,000 people here, and there's, you know, there's a lot of them that like to enjoy the great outdoors, and there's an opportunity there for economic development in terms of tourism, probably one of the better ones. And, you know, I can try and sympathize and make a case for some other ones, and I'm not trying to stop them all. God, heaven forbid, I wouldn't want to do that. But this one has a particular interest, and that it's within the boundaries of the city of Timmins also. So, in that sense, I think that, you know, we should be at least a party to some discussions when these things are developed. In this case of High Falls, I've seen the pictures, and I know the area a bit. I haven't had the pleasure of visiting all of it, but I think it's a treasure in its own right. And I know you have the First Nations have a problem with economic development and trying to get the dollars to provide the necessities, and I'm prepared to work with you on that and support. I do support a lot of the initiatives that you do have. I think you've gotten the raw deal probably in the past, and it's just coming to light, but everybody has to get used to it and adjust to it. And I think that, you know, this is one case where I think we can maybe have all parties, the 4 parties, come in and discussion. And because I would, personally, I would hate to lose that, High Falls. I think that it's a jewel, and I think that has a lot of economic development potential in terms of tourism, which could generate funds for the first. I don't care who does the development of it and provide the tours up there and provide the ideas to develop it into, if it's the First Nations, God bless them, we can all benefit, the world can benefit, but they're getting to be fewer and fewer all the time that are within reach of a market. I mean, to many people. And I think this is one of them, and this is part of the reason why I support the trying to maintain at least High Falls. You know, like, and Gary says I think there was 190 sites identified in there. Was there, Sean?
There was a number of them, for sure.
There's 190 sites,
yeah.
and out of those 190 sites, if there's 3 or 4 that maybe should be preserved, for future generations to see what falls actually look like, what the environment looks like around those falls. And I'm not going to try and pick them out, but I think this is probably one of them that should be in that category. And I think this is why I'm concerned, and why a lot of people, and some of them are here tonight, are concerned about, for the sake of the almighty dollar, we're going to take it away and it'll never come back. And, I don't know what to say to you other than that.
Well, do you want me to respond?
No, I certainly do. I know you will.
Well, I
that's
mean,
fine.
if you want to talk about adjusting, I mean, we've only been adjusting for over 100 years, and we continue to do so. And,
Yes, and I support that.
First of all, you say it's a 1.5 megawatt site. Believe me, if it was 1.5, we wouldn't be even discussing this right now. We believe the potential is more than that. At 1.5, it's not worth it.
Well, apparently that site was looked at before
Well,
by 3 or 4 different people, and they turned it down because they couldn't, because the water is not steady there.
you might be
apparently.
correct in that, but when our partner does the actual numbers on it, when we're done with it, if we can determine that it will generate what we think it will generate, then we'll likely proceed, or we would like to proceed. We will move forward through the regulatory processes that are in existence to proceed. If, when we do the tests and studies, it says it's only 1.5, then we probably won't proceed, because it wouldn't be economically worth it, along with the, the environmental disturbance that would be necessary to generate $10,000 or $20,000 per year. Absolutely not, we wouldn't do that. But when we're talking a couple $100,000 initially at minimum, to potentially at year 20, a couple $1 million for the community that has no tax base, my community is 6 square miles. What do you want me to do on that? Yeah, how big is Timmins? What's your tax base?
Well, we have 1,200 square miles. I realize that, but now these.
So you know what our tax base is? It's Treaty 9.
Well,
and that covers the boundaries of the city of Timmins.
Just don't say it's 6 square miles. Well, I think I should answer his question. You see, he says his community is just 6 square miles, and I don't want to get into debate or an argument. But now what the things have been changing is that whether a mining company wants to go in anywhere in the Treaty 9 region has to come in and make an arrangement. So it's not just the 6 square miles that you're talking about
That's right.
economic development.
You're absolutely right. It's Treaty 9.
It's Treaty 9. And that's all I'm saying.
And that's,
So,
thank you for agreeing with me.
Well, let's just not say it's 6 square miles then.
That's right. And you know that site in Grassy River? It's in Treaty 9.
Yes. Look, all I'm saying is to give some consideration to looking at it as to preferring maybe one of the sites in the province. I don't know how we can get there, but I don't want to slam the door and get into an argument before we can even start talking.
Well,
That's all.
We're in discussions with the province on that, and we aren't going beyond that. The proponent will do what's necessary, and we will, when we form a partnership, we'll go through the public notice of a commencement, do the public sessions as required. Beyond that, we're not willing to negotiate with a third party. I can tell you that right now. That is not our intention, and never will be, on any of these sites.
So any community, not just Timmins, any community in Northern Ontario that may have an interest, whether it's closer or further, or say closer to their community, may have an impact on their community, it doesn't matter.
Well, I think Councillor Sedino,
That's what I hear. I just want to get it straight,
rather
that's
than
all.
debate that, Councillor Sedino, I think there's also an environmental process that the city will be part of as well. So rather than debate whether they want the city as a partner or whatever, I think you've made your point very clear. And I think we're going to move on from that. So Councillor Slattery.
Thank you.